Hey guys, thanks for joining me for a new video. Today I'm joined by Anne, who is on YouTube on her channel Graphic Design How To. Hey
Hey,
Anne, thanks for being here.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me for an interview. I love having a YouTube channel because I get to interview people like you and just learn so much from people with different areas of expertise, although there is some crossover. So I found your channel when I was researching how to increase my Etsy digital download sales. And I know you had a couple videos that the YouTube algorithm was really liking and a lot of the viewers were really liking. And that's what got me. So I was hoping that, well, number one, is it possible you could tell people, how your Etsy business is doing as far as sales? I know you have like some crazy sales numbers, and then maybe give like a tip for beginners.
Okay, so I started my Etsy shop about 5 years ago, so at the beginning of 2017. And since that time, I made about 45,000 sales. So, those sales have been really mostly in the last 3 years. The first 2 years I was on Etsy, I kind of just really struggled. And I ended up taking an Etsy class. And I'm not sure that the techniques in that class helped a whole lot, but it really did make me focus on Etsy. And when you focus on something, Ryan, I'm sure as you have noticed, it tends to really sort of blossom. So that has been one of the things that has really helped my shop, is just really putting all my focus onto it.
Yeah, that's great. So 45,000 sales, that's crazy. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to the slow start. Do you have any like just when you reflect on that time before things really started to pick up, like do you have any tips for just keeping people, giving them like good perspective that this is a kind of a long-term business, maybe get them through the hard times?
Yes, I think that some of the things I should have done at the beginning are research. So get out on Etsy and research other shops that are selling what you want to sell as far as digital downloads and see what they're doing. SEO is another huge thing, and you can find a lot of information on YouTube. People are willing to share Etsy SEO techniques and tips and that kind of thing. And I really think you should be on YouTube watching Etsy videos to figure out what works. Also, if you're finding out that a certain type of, design or whatever, let's say you're doing resume templates and you're finding that you're not selling, try to switch it up and try to change instead of keep, continuing to put out the same thing that isn't working.
Yeah,
Um,
that's great
Another
advice.
thing, oh, sorry, what?
No, I was gonna say great advice. Like for real, everybody needs to hear that a couple times before it sets in, because we get very bullish on whatever it
Yeah,
is we
kind
thought
of
we were gonna do. Tunnel
tunnel
vision.
vision. um, Another thing is to keep, like, if you're going to be on Etsy, Etsy is a really visual marketplace. So you want to have your photos looking really amazing, whether it's through photography or projects that you made with your digital downloads, or just digital images. Make sure they are really appealing.
That's great advice. Yeah, I really put like a high priority on the main thumbnail too. I always think it's like,
Yep.
I call it a war. When someone searches and it's like us and 99 other people in search results, I'm like, we got to win the war there somehow. What can we do
Yeah,
to stand
that's
out?
it's another thing is niche. Um, you want to make sure that your products are somehow different from other people's, because it is so competitive, as I'm sure you've noticed. It is so competitive on Etsy, and everybody's kind of doing the same thing. And so if you can find a different way to, a way to differentiate yourself, that is going to help. SEO, of course, is also very, very important. So.
Yeah, for sure. The SEO aspect can't be understated. It's like, the year is 2022. I always think like, if it was 20 years ago, when I imagine 2022, are we in flying cars yet and whatnot? But it's like, we're still at the point where the algorithms on Etsy, Amazon, eBay, anywhere, we still need to assist them in understanding what it is we're selling. It can't just see a picture that we upload and understand immediately like, oh, yeah, it's this item. And when they search this, we need to, one day we'll be there. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
SEO is how people find your products. So if you don't have the right kind of SEO for the Etsy algorithm, nobody is ever going to see your stuff. So it's a huge part of Etsy.
Yeah, agreed. And I always uploaded manually to Etsy. I love talking like automation, and that's a big part of my online businesses. But with Etsy, it was manual. Like because I always wanted to get the tags right. You know, I wanted to get that title right. I had a primary thumbnail template that I had built, and so I just took the extra time and was rewarded for it.
What automation system are you using? I was curious
Uh,
about that.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk. Like, so actually, let me plug really quickly. So next week, I'm gonna call it Automation Week. So I'm gonna be traveling
Oh,
to the Bitcoin conference in Miami. So I'm queuing up like 5 videos that are all gonna be automation tools that I use. And the two main ones that I use, one is called AutomatePOD. It's a Chrome extension that can help me like automate designs by just swapping in CSV list of text variables and then saving the designs. And I know Illustrator can do that too. You're a great graphic designer. You probably already knew that.
I don't know about that, but I'll have to look into it.
Illustrator is that's probably the best way to do it if you have Illustrator. But and then I use this other software called Merch Titans Automation, and it
I've heard of
integrates with
them.
a lot of the primary print on demand marketplaces. So it basically I kind of just queue up a spreadsheet and it just hit go, and it'll just run in the background. Like right now, while we record this, I'm uploading to Merch by Amazon, and
Oh, nice.
yeah,
I've
so
had trouble getting on Merch by Amazon. They don't, it is really hard to get on these days. And
yeah.
so I don't know. I kind of
Reapply.
gave up.
No, you got to reapply. You got graphic design chops. You'll do really well there.
I would love to get on, but with my, like, you have to have, I don't think you're allowed to have a separate Amazon account. And I already tried with my Amazon KDP, and they're like, nope. And I tried with a different
Hmm,
email address, and they're like, nope. So I
really?
think it's just really challenging right now, but I've sort of given up on that aspect. But I'm using Flying Upload, and just like you, I am not doing any kind of automation with Etsy because it is so. I just don't feel comfortable doing it, but I do it with POD and some other things
Yeah.
I do. So it is
Yeah,
useful.
there's a software too that I'll if you have time, I'll send you like one of my videos on it. It's new, it's in beta called My Designs, and it exists right now solely for Etsy digital downloads, but I know they're expanding the scope of it over
Wow.
time. But it's super cool. Just it's built out like extremely well. That's one of the biggest draws. So it solves all the pretty much every problem that we have as like digital download seller, or let's just say like if we're selling like a graphic asset, you can upload an SVG, it'll convert it, and it can do like tag generation for you. It can do all these like variable type things, and it's
Cool.
really cool. Yeah.
I'll have to check
Um,
it out for
I'll talk
sure.
to you about it, yeah, after this. But so I
Okay.
wanted to ask you really quickly too, when you're talking about, sorry to go back in time again, but I just wanted to ask you, like, were you too early? Like, were you ahead of your time when you were selling digital downloads kind of early on in Etsy when not that many other people were, do you think?
No, I really felt like I was late to the game. I felt like by the time I started my shop, it was just so saturated. I mean, it's even worse now, of course, but I still think there's time to get in now. I mean, if I felt that way back then, I think it's still okay now to get in. But I really felt like everybody had started like 5 years before me. And I thought,
Yeah.
will I even be able to do anything here? But it is about differentiation and just figuring out how Etsy works. And I think you can be successful with it. I also
Yeah.
wanted to mention if you're not a designer, you can still be successful with Etsy digital downloads. I see resume templates on Microsoft Word being sold on there, Canva templates. Um, Canva, you don't have to be a designer to use it, although if you have some design chops, it's definitely helpful. But you can also do like Excel budgeting sheets. There are so many options. You don't have to do art. So if you don't have an art skill set, it's still available to you.
Yeah, that's a great tip. It's crazy on Etsy like what you see out there. Like I mean, I don't even
Yeah.
know everything that's out there, but you can go exploring and you see people that are hungry for success coming up with kind of ideas that are against the grain, and that's like their little pocket on Etsy that, they own until more people find out about it, right? The best kept
Yeah.
secret, and then everybody stumbles on it.
Yeah,
Um
definitely.
that's a great tip. And I always think to myself too on the topic of like saturation, because it does, it probably start like stands in the way of a lot of people getting started from a lot of just businesses in general. But, you know, it's almost like a little proverb that pops up into my mind when I hear it. I'm like, yeah, this is the least saturated anything will ever be. You know, whatever it
Right.
is, today is the least saturated it'll ever be, unless you can like go back in time, you know, and if you can't, let me
Right.
know.
Right. Yeah. I think it's only going to, you know, today is the best day to start. Just start. That's all I've got to say about that, because it's only going to get harder from here on out.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I wanted to give you a shout out too, because I saw you featured on the Adobe primary like channel for like graphic design tutorials with over 1 million subscribers over there. So shout out with that. And then do you want to like plug your YouTube channel and kind of share the kind of content that you are putting out on your YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah, sure. Thanks for that, by the way. That was back in 2017, and I just started my YouTube channel then. My YouTube channel is Graphic Design How To, and it is all about everything.
Link in
Like if you're
description.
having a problem, if you're having a problem with graphics, I will hopefully have a video on how to solve that. Or if you know, you can always leave a comment if you have a suggestion for a video over there. And I will probably either just answer it in the comment. I always respond to comments. I try to. And, you know, if it's something video worthy, I would definitely jump on a video if you needed it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hopefully we send you a bunch of subscribers, because that's right in the wheelhouse of what we talk about on this channel. While I'm publicly like not a great designer, so I love to defer to the experts. So you're joining the expert ranks that I will defer to.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
And you were telling me, like, before we did this, I just wanted to ask you, because, you know, we talk about just online passive income on this channel. I talk a lot about what the YouTube algorithm likes me to talk about. So it's typically like selling t-shirts and whatnot. But you were telling me that, you know, you got the YouTube channel, you are on Etsy, and then you've got some, you know, what are some of the other income streams that you've got that are complementary?
Well, I have a total of 28 income streams right now, but they are definitely categorized. So I've got stock images, so that's Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, iStock Photo, and they're all stock photo websites, and there are 11 of those. And I put the same designs that I put on Shutterstock across all 11 channels there. And so Shutterstock is definitely the best as far as money goes, but they changed their amount that they pay us a couple of years ago. So that really was a huge hit. And now we make half of what we made on Shutterstock. And so people are kind of moving to other channels. Adobe Stock is now right there with Shutterstock, now that Shutterstock reduced the amount they want to pay us. And iStock Photo is just behind that. So those are the three main ones if you want to get started in stock photos. But and I do stock vectors. I don't actually do photos. I have a few on there, but they're not not making me any money. But the vectors are a better option if you know how to make vectors. I do it all in Adobe Illustrator, but I do icons and I do like web banners, and they are mostly in the healthcare and business sectors. So if you can come up with icons for business and healthcare, that's what I'm doing, and it works fairly well. Another category of my 28 streams is digital downloads. I sell on Etsy, design bundles, Creative Fabrica, and Sofonsi. So now these are different designs than what goes on the Shutterstock ones. Right. They're completely different because it's a different audience. But yeah. I put the same designs on all four of those because they're basically the same type of site. Etsy is definitely the most successful there. The Creative Fabrica and Sofonsi are, I wouldn't even, maybe don't waste your time with those. But the third category is Skillshare or education. I call it education and courses, and that's my YouTube channel. I actually have 3 YouTube channels right now, and I put videos on those, on 2 of them every week. I've kind of given up on one. That was a Cricut and Silhouette cutting machine channel. My other channel is the Graphic Design How To. That's my main channel. And then I also have a finance channel, which is just starting out, not monetized or anything like that, but I am working on it every week. So
No, I
And then
like that.
I've got Skillshare and Udemy, and Skillshare and Udemy are full courses. And I'm really focusing in on those this year. So I'm spending a lot of time making courses. It is the most time consuming thing I do for sure, because you want them to be around an hour or so. So, and they're all about graphic design or cutting machines. My latest one is going to be about Cricut cutting machines and how to make little flowers and things like that. But yeah, courses, those types of passive income streams, they're nice because you only put the information out there once and then it just keeps on making money. Etsy, I feel like, is one of the more, it's not as passive because you have to handle customer service.
Yeah.
And that does take some time and can cause a little bit of stress.
Yeah.
The next category is print on demand. So I do Redbubble, Zazzle, Society 6, and there's one more.
TeePublic?
No, what is it?
Teespring? Or no,
No, not Teespring either. I used to do those, but
was it 1 second. Is it Spreadshirt?
yes, Spreadshirt. That's
Yeah,
it.
Spreadshirt's pretty good. I'm like going through the ones that make sales. I'm like, Teespring's not a great platform, probably not that. Spreadshirt, yeah,
Right.
they make sales.
Teespring, I had all my designs on there. I was doing fine. And then something happened. They changed it to spring. Remember when that happened?
Same thing.
And
Yep.
sales stopped. I don't know why, but I just I gave up on that one. But anyway, another print on demand is Amazon KDP. I just started that. I'm kind of excited about that one. But all of those four, I actually use the same designs from Etsy and those to put on KDP platforms. So yeah. And then the final thing I do is affiliate marketing, which I just basically say, hey, sign up for Skillshare and I get a little bit of money if people do that. So
yeah, the benefit of having a YouTube
28
channel.
streams.
Yeah. No, I never planned on making any money with like affiliate marketing, but as the YouTube channel grows, I'm like, oh, well, the videos that I talk about print on demand are doing well. Let me show you this like service I use. And if you want to use it, like, Google that plus affiliate program. Oh, they have one,
Right. Yeah. I've done that. And I think, my most successful there is actually Font Self. Are you familiar with Font Self?
Nah.
It's a font making program and you can do it inside Illustrator. So I've had a few videos showing how to use it and stuff like that. And that one has done fairly well. And I'm most surprised that, when I was first starting out with my YouTube channel, I would say, oh, you guys should try this. And nobody would listen to me and nobody would do it. And now that I have a subscribership, I'm like, oh, people are actually trying this,
Yeah.
And I only push,
really cool.
I only, push is not necessarily the right word, but I only recommend services that I am completely happy with and comfortable with. So I feel like it's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. And while I have my screen shared real quick, let me plug your channel here too. Yeah. So definitely everybody check it out. You're doing weekly videos right now, every now and then too. Yeah.
Weekly and sometimes twice a week, but generally weekly.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah. Well, hey, that was extremely useful, especially at the end there, just kind of going through your income streams. And I know that like I preach all the time, hey, if you're doing, one thing, like if you're selling digital downloads on Etsy, well,
why
if you
not?
can list them somewhere else, yeah, like I call it occupying more online real estate, right? Just we don't know what Google is going to index at the top, and typically that's most likely how people are finding you. So just get it everywhere, and that's a really solid tip. And I appreciate you being here. And is there anything else you'd like to like share with us, or plug, or give tips to anybody about getting started with their online business before we wrap up?
I think if you want to start out with any passive income stream, you should really kind of get it under your belt and kind of just get comfortable with it before adding another one. Like if you're trying to do 10 at once, I would really not. You're going to want to quit because you're putting in so much effort and not seeing, the kind of results you want. So just start out with one, get it rolling, and then add another one, and just add one at a time as you go. And also, another thing that's so important with any online income stream that you're looking at, consistency is so very important. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, you need to consistently put out a video every single week. If you want to start an Etsy shop, consistently put new listings up. And every single thing I do online is all about consistency. So.
No, I love that tip. And for me too, I don't know if I was born with it or what, but like, I know it's like a mental thing for some people, but like, I just don't allow myself to fail mentally. You know, like if I commit myself to something, it's not, will I do it? It's simply when, you know?
Right. That is such a huge thing too. Mindset. Mindset really, really matters. And you don't think that it has anything to do with, the world out there, but I don't know. I mean, I get off into like
I know where you're going with that though, and I believe it. Like, I'm with you. I'm right there with you. I didn't used to be though. It's kind of like it had to like happen to me to be like, oh, like it really does kind of work that way. Like we almost like manifest things with our thought. Not that we necessarily conjure it into physical being, but like for real, it's like what we occupy our headspace with tends to be what presents itself in our life, I think.
Right. And I think a lot of it is once you decide certain things, you start making changes and start doing things differently that maybe you wouldn't have if you weren't in that headspace. And then things really start to move for you. And it's kind of crazy, but it is real.
Yep.
Anyway.
Hey, that's great advice. And I wish you continued success like on YouTube and all the other fronts. 28 passive income streams. I need to count mine. I guess it's tax season. I should probably know off the top of my head, but
that's why I know actually tax season gets a little crazy, but
yeah,
I have somebody else do it all. So
yeah, same. It's a good problem to have too, to have a lot of
income
streams. So
yeah, it's just a matter of like, oh, now I have to spend 3 hours getting all this stuff in one place so I can hand it off to my tax person.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, Anne is here with graphic design how-to on YouTube, and I will link to that in the description. If you want me to link to, your other channels too, let me know. But at a minimum, we will have a link to graphic design how-to. Anne, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been really great talking to you.